When LSU women's basketball takes on the South Carolina Gamecocks in the PMAC Thursday night, it will mark one of the biggest games in all of women's basketball this season. The reigning national champs will look to do what no other team has done this year: beat the Gamecocks. Last season, when the two teams faced off in the powerhouse matchup, South Carolina walked out with an 88-64 win over the Lady Tigers and handed them their first loss of the season. When the Tigers look for revenge this year, though, they won't have to worry about matching up against Aaliyah Boston, who went #1 in the 2023 WNBA draft. But just because her and some other key contributors from last year's Gamecock squad won't be there, the Tigers still recognize the threats on this year's team.
Obviously, they don't have the players that they had last year. They lost a lot, but South Carolina just reloads.
The key for both of these teams in tonight's game is to make their opponent uncomfortable. Many of the games for both teams have been blowout wins, so we don't know what to expect if this game comes down to the wire. Speaking of blowouts, both the Tigers and Gamecocks come in with elite offenses, as both teams are 1 and 2 in point differential. What could be the difference is the defensive approaches. South Carolina leads the nation in blocks per game, while LSU is top 15 in steals per game. Whichever team can create turnovers and get those extra possessions can put themselves in a good spot to secure the win. But that's easier said than done, and Kim Mulkey knows her squad is in for an uphill battle.
No one seems to have found the formula to beat them, and just like we will try to do the same thing a lot of teams do, and that's try to upset them. We're the underdog. I love underdog roles, and I know that it'll be one heck of an atmosphere, and it's going to be good for us. It's going to be good for South Carolina. It's going to be good for the SEC, and overall good for women's basketball.
Another big factor in this game could be the LSU fans. This is set to be the biggest college basketball game in the Bayou in recent memory. ESPN's College Game Day will even be in attendance at the PMAC for the first time in history. The rowdy LSU crowd has potential to play a factor, but Coach Mulkey thinks both teams will be prepared and thinks there could be some monumental things to happen in tonight's game.
Shoot around and put in our last-minute things that we work on the day of the game, but I don't think fanfare is anything that affects my team. They are used to big crowds. South Carolina's used to big crowds. You know, you're looking at a lot of basketball history in this building tomorrow.
For Tiger TV Sports, I'm Nick Lopez.